According to surviving parables and legends, Solomon, the third and greatest king of the nation of Israel, was not only a wise ruler, but also a powerful magician. He obeyed the elements. He commanded demons, who fulfilled his every wish. The king had a magic key and a ring that allowed him to keep in touch with the higher powers and give instructions to the demons. About King Solomon can be read in the third book of Kings. The first and second books of the Paralipomenon all are part of the Old Testament. Was the son of the legendary King David and his favorite wife Bathsheba. Solomon was appointed to succeed his father during his father's lifetime and came to the throne at the age of 16. In his early youth, Solomon had a marvelous dream. The Lord himself spoke to him. The Almighty promised to fulfill his every wish. Solomon answered, I do not dream of riches and fame, long life and eternal youth. I ask for one thing, grant me wisdom and prudence. God fulfilled his request and made Solomon one of the wisest men on earth. Because of this, the king achieved greatness, wealth and, in a sense, eternal life. Solomon's reign has gone down in history as the golden age of the nation of Israel, a period of stability, peace and prosperity. There were so many precious metals in Jerusalem at that time that gold and silver, according to the biblical expression, became equal to a mere stone. Having settled the internal affairs of the state, the king began to build the temple on the top of the Temple Mount. The sanctuary, the greatest in beauty and splendor, was erected in only 7 years. It was even said that demons helped Solomon to build the temple. However, if we believe the ancient sources, there was every reason for such conclusions. Unfortunately, you and I cannot judge the greatness of this construction after the death of the king. The temple was destroyed by the Babylonians. Only the western wall, the Wailing Wall, survived. For more than 2,000 years, Jews have been coming to this shrine to mourn the destruction of the temple. Eastern legends say that King Solomon's power lay in his magic ring, on which a special inscription was engraved. According to popular beliefs, the ring is still in Solomon's tomb and is guarded by dragons. No one knows exactly where the tomb is located, but everyone knows that the person who is lucky enough to get Solomon's ring will become the ruler of the world. There are different versions of the origin of this ring. The most common one says that once the king sought advice from a court sage, Solomon complained that sometimes he could not control his emotions, and passions overshadow his mind. The wise man gave him a ring with the inscription, "This will pass." Solomon thanked the counselor, and since then the ring has helped the king many times to find calmness and clarity of mind. But one day, when he looked at the ring, the ruler lost his temper even more. In anger, he threw the ring away, at which point the inscription, "This too shall pass." If legends are to be believed, during all the years of the reign of David's famous son, the disk of the moon never diminished, and good always outnumbered evil. Solomon was so wise, great, and all-powerful that he was able to subdue all the elements, beasts and birds, and demons. Demons brought gold and precious metals to the king's palace, and angels guarded his treasures. On the steps of the royal throne sat 12 golden lions and as many golden eagles. The top of the throne was crowned with a golden figure of a dove with a dovecot in its talons, a symbol of Israel's superiority over the pagan nations. Next to it was placed a golden candlestick with 14 bulls and 24 vines created, a shadow over King Solomon. Solomon was never alone. At any moment he could call upon animals, elements, demons, and higher powers for help. He was one of the first occultists initiated into the sacral mysteries of existence. There is a legend, according to which, with the help of magic power and incantations, Solomon stirred 72 major demons of Gosha into a copper vessel. The king did not want the power over these entities to go to people greedy and evil, and so he sealed the vessel and threw it into a deep lake, in the hope that all will forget about the drowned demons. But luck turned away from the king. The people of Babylon thought that the vessel contained treasure. They fished it out of the water and immediately opened it, and 72 demons, as well as legions of their followers, burst forth. Only Velier, the spirit of nothingness and destruction, climbed into the statue and from there gave people advice and predicted the future. In exchange for sacrifices, the Gospel of Matthew says that Jesus addressed Peter with the words, "And I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. The same key that opens the gates of wisdom. Magicians around the world consider the famous grimoire the Keys of Solomon. This treatise, containing the most ancient spells, information on demonology and occult sciences, was discovered in Europe in the Middle Ages. According to one legend, the book was written by the devil himself and given to the famous King Solomon, who kept it under his own throne. According to another version, the keys were given to Solomon by angels. Whatever the case, esotericists considered this grimoire to be a basic magical treatise. It describes in detail all the methods and stages of calling demons, gave detailed explanations of how to behave to subjugate demons to their will, said that the slightest violation of the rules fraught with the fact that the magician himself will be at the mercy of otherworldly forces. In the keys explains how to choose the right place and time to conduct the ritual, which will require clothing, weapons, what magical artifacts can be used in the ritual. If the magician complies with all the regulations, he will become almost omnipotent, because he will be able to summon demons in any number and for any purpose. The second part of the grimoire, Solomon's Lesser Key, is divided into 4 chapters. The first tells how to summon the main demons. The second gives their characteristics. In the third part, angels are numbered with their numbers, hours and signs of the zodiac. The fourth describes the angels seated in the heavens, each over a different side of the world, north, south, west and east. Like the Great Key, this book was kept under Solomon's throne, and was discovered after his death when demons, knowing what harm they would do, helped the courtiers dig it up, learning to control otherworldly entities. The great king was able to learn from them many secrets that helped him to create 77 seals, sacred signs and inscriptions that provide a link between man and the higher forces and help to achieve certain goals. Even during the king's lifetime, these seals were used to get rid of curses and illnesses, attract success and love, gain power and wealth. Today, Solomon's seals are considered the strongest amulets, which are suitable for absolutely everyone, regardless of nationality and religious beliefs. It is only important to remember that each seal is aimed at the realization of a specific task. The power of these amulets has been tested for thousands of years. Seal Solomon can be the perfect talisman, but on the condition that it is made especially for you. Because in addition to universal, timeless signs and symbols, which are applied to each seal, the amulet must be customized according to the specific personality and energy of a particular owner. That is under the control of only a specialist in perfect mastery of this ancient magic. King Solomon was a peaceful ruler, and during his reign he ruled for 40 years was not one big war. He inherited a large and strong state and had to maintain and strengthen it. At the beginning of his reign he took as his wife the daughter of the Egyptian pharaoh, thus strengthening the southern borders of his state. Later he repeatedly took women of other nations as wives. To maintain good neighborly relations with neighboring states, Solomon's harem numbered 700 wives and 300 concubines. The Midrash Oral Torah says that when King Solomon married Pharaoh's daughter, the archangel Gabriel descended from heaven and stuck a pole into the sea, around which an island was formed, on which Rome was later built, which conquered Jerusalem. At the end of his life, God appeared to Solomon and said, "Because you do this, and you have not kept my covenant and my statutes which I commanded you, I will tear away the kingdom from you and give it to your servant, but in your days I will not do this for the sake of David your father out of the hand of your son. I will pluck it." Book of Kings. After King Solomon's death, his kingdom broke up into 2 weak states, Israel and Judah, with constant internecine warfare.